Morning. And we get starter last as well after that setup.
Yeah.
Okay, so should we introduce ourselves?
Yeah, and welcome people to the first of our Accidental Manager series.
Yes.
From Noodle.
15 that we've got planned.
Yeah. Yes. So do you want to say who you are and I'll say who I am?
Yeah, okay, so Max Gooding.
And I'm Kate Wood. And shall we tell people why we're here?
Yes. Let's do a little bit of a sort of rewind.
Yeah. Back in the mists of time.
So how did we go? Well, first, where are we?
Yeah, we are in your sitting room. I'm loving this sofa very much.
On brand.
It's, yes, if people are listening rather than watching, beautiful orange, which is, our brand colour.
Yeah. And we're socially distanced.
We're socially distanced because of COVID times.
Mm-hmm.
We are fueled with coffee.
Mm-hmm. Normally.
Yeah.
We've got cake for later.
Thank goodness.
And we're doing it in the lounge because we don't have business premises and we can't really go anywhere else.
No.
So we've got to do it here.
Yeah.
Which is all good.
Yeah.
So, how did we meet?
How did we meet? I met you when we were working for a big bank.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't work in the same area, but we were both in Canary Wharf.
Didn't work in the same country at that point.
No, that's true. I was in Scotland to start off with. Yeah, you were in England.
Yeah.
And I remember you being a bit of a force to be reckoned with.
Mm-hmm.
You knew everything about customers and people and how to get the best out of people.
Well, that's what I look like from afar anyway, so that's nice.
You did a good job. You did a great job of doing that. Well done. Yeah.
I think I remember meeting you over the phone and then meeting you in person. And you were the consummate learning and development professional. I just thought, she knows her stuff. She knows what she's doing. She's very organised. She gets a lot done. Like working with her.
Yeah. That was the thing, wasn't it? We did, even though we were on different projects and we sometimes ended up on the same sort of meeting or call or whatever, there was quite a lot of stuff where we realised, you're a bit like me and I'm a bit like you, even though we're in different spaces, literally.
Yes. Yeah.
Until I got a transfer and moved back down south from where I'd come from. And we realised we lived 5 minutes apart from each other.
Yeah, which was strange.
But an hour and a half away from work. So we often got the commuter coach back home and
sat there for good at least an hour and 15 minutes, if not longer, trying to put the world to rights or trying to put that place to rights.
At the end of each day, we needed a bit of venting time, didn't we? Because we had high-pressured jobs.
Yeah.
And being the main breadwinners for our families, there was quite a lot riding on us doing well and sort of navigating through complex, difficult stuff. And we kept on working on these great projects.
We thought they were great projects.
Yeah. Yeah. That kept on being pulled just before they were about to go live. So things like, how to help people have a better time at work, how to be better people.
Yeah.
And every now and again, the sponsor of that would be hoiked out and the project would go with them and we'd be told to get onto
another project.
Yeah.
Lots of frustration, lots of shelving things, and lots of not actually being able to help the people that we knew needed helping. And I think that's the main thing, was that our experience of working there was this constant, hang on a minute, we're spending a lot of time and energy doing stuff and we're not reaching the people that really need this.
That was
the big bugbear for us, wasn't it?
It really was, yeah. So we would talk about, if we ran this company, it would look like this. If we ran the world, it would look like this. And I think the things that we had in common about, people have a hard time at work as it is.
Yes.
Things should be made better for them. We kind of learnt a lot of things by accident over our careers that we wish we'd known sooner. How can we get that stuff to people?
So we spent a lot of that time realising that we had a lot in common, realising that we thought there was a better way of doing things. And then opportunity knocks and we seized the moment and set up in business together, which was about 6 years ago, I think.
And it was quite a scary thing, wasn't it? We had to be brave.
Very scary thing.
even though we were frustrated, we had a salary. We knew what we were going to be getting each month. We kind of knew who we were working with and what we were doing.
It did feel like one of those parachute moments where you're jumping out going, hope it's all right.
Yeah. And it was.
Yes.
Wasn't it?
Yeah.
Over that time, we've ended up working with a lot of different people, organisations, industries, and we've learnt a lot, but we realised that what we brought is needed over and over again.
But I think the thing we started to notice was there were some consistencies. But I'm jumping ahead, I think, because one of the things that we've done every year is made sure we have an annual appraisal process.
Yes.
Did you love feedback?
I hate feedback so much, but I value it. So yes, we do a performance review for each other. You often do very well.
Yes, and so do you.
Thank you.
I know we do have a bit of a stiff competition for Employee of the Month.
It's the two of us. So last year, at our performance review, which we held on a beach with Prosecco in hand, we were looking at what have we learned? Where have we got to? What do we know now that we didn't know before? And what do we want to do with that learning?
And I think it was also thinking, okay, what keeps coming up? What's the repeating patterns? What do we think we're doing versus what's actually being asked for? And how do we make sure that we give the world what it needs or what it wants?
Yeah.
And so we started thinking about those patterns, didn't we?
And one of those patterns was we kept on being asked to do things faster or quicker or in a shorter space of time. So like helping people to, I guess, be better at what they do, be more resilient, how to influence, how to have impact, how to connect better.
Yeah, all of that sort of stuff around. I remember doing the 3-day workshop, reduce it to the 2-day workshop. We've got a bunch of really clever people together for one afternoon. In this time, could you? And I think we'd had a few of those in the last few years where people have asked us for that ridiculous stuff. But I think our favourite one.
Well, I was going to say we were quite resistant to it at first.
Yeah.
We were saying, hang on a minute, Company X, you're spending all this money on your senior managers and executives. They get to go away and hang out in a hotel for a week learning how to be brilliant. The other people that are really at the coalface who are struggling, you're saying, what can you do with them in an hour, 50 minutes, less than an hour? We want them to get the same stuff, but we haven't got as much money to spend on them. Yeah. We started going, that's not fair. What about these poor people who are struggling? They should have that stuff. But then we rose to the challenge, didn't we?
I think we had that ethos, didn't we, early on, which was we need to say yes to stuff, because we just want to get out there and have a go. But then over time start to, as you say, seize that challenge, which is okay, rather than getting frustrated with the client asking for that. So, okay, if we can assume we can do it, how do we do it? But I think the one that was the most challenging, which then brought us to where we are now, was that graduate induction experience where we were asked, can you do resilience? Yeah, great, we can do resilience. Yeah, we've got a 1-day workshop in an hour.
And you're going to have a bunch of people come in. We need you to do it for an hour. Then they're going to go out, and then the next group are going to come in. Yeah. You're going to have 6 different groups to work with. You've got about a day to do it.
So, by the way, although you've got an hour, you've got to have them come in and go out in that hour as well, and the next lot come in and go out. Yes. So, yeah.
And we want them to be excited about what they're learning and for the learning to stick. And we're going to be, testing people afterwards. Of course we can do that, we said. And by golly, we did.
Yes. And out of that moment, we had the realisation that we could take, okay, if we do pare everything down and say, okay, but if you only had to learn one thing, what would it be? And started to apply that to other things. And you condense things down and go, well, actually, yes, if it's only one thing, it's that. But then if it's only that, how do you then make it really easily understandable?
Yeah.
And sticky.
Yeah.
And fun. We like fun.
Fun is a theme we're going to return to.
Yeah.
Through the podcast series because, work's too hard not to have fun.
Yeah, for sure.
But there are ways and ways of doing it. But we think that's so important.
So hence the bouncy balls and the high fives and stuff like that.
Like
I say, we'll come back.
We had those graduates kind of leaping. We made them leap out of the room into the main area they were going back to.
Yeah.
They'd each been given bouncy balls. They kept on coming back for more.
Yeah.
We weren't sure how that was going to go down. They were doing high fives. They were whooping. They were cheering. They got it. It was good. And we thought we could do this, actually. What if we could keep on doing this? Yeah. Helping people learn that stuff, that we got by accident. So these accidental managers who are ending up in roles where they don't really know what they're doing, maybe they don't feel confident about asking or showing that they don't know, but they want to do the best they can and get the best out of the people they're working with.
So the thing that went on from there is that idea of the accidental manager as well, the realisation that we've learned things by accident, but also when we start to talk to other people that we know and respect and say, what were the most important learnings? It's not on that training program. It's not in that. It's, I learned this by accident along the way. And that's what we want to bring as well through these podcasts. Is say, okay, what are the things that we learned by accident, but then plug that into, but here's the stuff that sits behind it. Here's the stuff that will help you learn it sooner rather than have to wait until you trip over yourself.
And everyone seems to have that learning moment. So we're going to be interviewing some people, aren't we, about what was their key nugget that they got, by accident. And so we also know that things come, the learning happens in short bursts as well. So we're really keen not to over-egg it.
So out of all of that, Noodle has been born. It will slowly grow, but only in bite-sized chunks. So Noodle is our way of delivering all the accidental manager nuggets, little things that you need to learn.
And do you want to say why Noodle? Why did we come up with that?
Well, we were thinking about how do we explain the fact that this is a way of kind of messing with your head, and we started noodling around, literally noodling
around, having that noodle space, messing with your noodle, and keeping it sort of short, bite size. So that's why we've come up with Noodle Bites. And we'll be bringing those to life through the podcast series.
And so each of the noodles will be up to 5 minutes long. At the end of each podcast, except for this one, we'll be referencing if there are some specific noodles that you might be interested in, or you might want to have a look at. Otherwise, we hope you just enjoy listening to us, hearing our story and other people's stories about being an accidental manager.
Indeed.